สวัสดีค่ะ Okay, so I had a big plan of what I'm going to say, but I just changed sort of a lot of things in my mind of what I want to share with you because I see a lot of great stories. So I think what I can share with you today is it's still designing your life, but I want to share the story of my life, which is not. I think people can reflect. If you can share with your friends. Not a typical, I mean, probably typical, but not shared out really in space. So I'm very honored and very happy. So this is the place where I first started my kindergarten. This is where I learned to speak, to count, to speak English, speak Thai, learn science. Everything started at this school. And I never, ever imagined gonna be standing, here talking to my younger sisters. A lot younger. So thank you very much. And I'm actually a life designer, and I learned that when I was much older, that you too one day will know that you are already a designer of a lot of things, especially of your own life. Okay? So my journey, I try to break it up in 3 different chapters. So what I do when I was very young, like in school here, I tried to study hard. I wasn't an A student. I have to study very hard to get an A. Still, I would get a B plus. And I was kind of sad, but that's how I have to live my life. So I always work hard because teachers and mom and dad says you have to get a good grade, and good grade means good future. So that was the only plan I have. I don't know what my future will be. I have no idea what I want it to be. But I just thought, whatever they say, study hard, so I did. So I studied very hard. I get a somewhat good grade, B plus, sometimes A, sometimes C. And I eventually get into good university. But I got into good university because I only picked the subject, that I liked. I had to find a way to get into good study. I was really bad at math. So I'm not sure if you want to follow, but my trick was I just completely stopped studying math. I study in school, but I don't study it off school because I know I have 24 hours. If I spend 12 hours studying math, I only get 2 points extra. But if I did 12 hours, I did social science, I did English, I did Thai, I get like 50%, 50 marks more. So I thought that 12 hours, I'd rather spend on something, I could improve a lot. So that was my strategy of having to survive being a B plus or B student. So I did got into a good university. I wasn't good at math, but I went into BBA, which required a lot of math. But that was because I had to pick back then was something that studied in English, because I was good in English. So something that teaches English, something I can put myself into an environment where I can actually use my strength. So that was my strategy. So I did went into BBA Zula, right? So graduated. So that was my first part. And then I was like, what do I do next? But before I got into Zula, one thing changed me in the middle of being in high school. When I was in this school at 7th grade, my dad had to move to Korea. And I was like, what do I do? I don't have any friends. All my friends are here. I was so excited to get into the big building behind where all the PP, like Matayom was there. It was my first time in 7th grade. 10th grade, sorry, 10th grade. It was first time I got to wear, a different uniform. I was like so excited. And then like 3 months later, I realized I have to move to Korea with my dad. And that actually changed a lot of things about me. I went to Korea without knowing what it's like. I speak English, but wasn't fluent at all. I first went into international school. Coming from all girls school, it was first time seeing boys and girl kisses. And I was like running home crying. I was like, Mom, I see people kisses. What do I do? And I was so scared. and then I started playing sports, like you said. I started playing sports with my friends. I play basket, whatever my friend was playing, I was just playing with them. I don't play any sports, but I just wanted to get along and belong with someone. So I play basketball, I play soccer, I play volleyball, I play tennis. I wasn't good at it, but I played because I wanted to get into like society and meeting people. So within like 3 weeks, I started to have new friends, speak more English with more confidence, and I thought, hey, that wasn't so bad. Being scared and throwing myself into unknown thing. First 2 days I was crying. I was really scared. But then I pushed myself and I gave it more try. And by 3 weeks, my mom said, I heard you were talking to your friends in English and I didn't realize you were Thai. And I was like, really? I was so happy. And, I walked around and see people kissing in the hallway. And I was like, doesn't matter. This is okay. This is natural, different culture. And I learned so much from pushing myself into this unknown. So in life, you will get, weird door open in your face. And you're just kind of like, that wasn't the door that I think I planned to get into. And it just all of a sudden just pops open. And you can actually peek in there, maybe step your foot in there. You might learn something. It will feel scary. You can go and improve yourself, grow from it. If you don't like it, you can step out of it. It's okay. But I think I wanted to give it a try, and I did. And a lot of stories in my life, the way I grow up was, going through this unknown door that just opened here and there. So that's why my next chapter, I named it The Explorer. So after I moved to Korea, I started to realize, exploring is fun. I get to learn and see different things. So when I went into Chula, I just go to Australia and live there for 6 months as an exchange student. And I know what I like about Australia and not like about Australia. And actually kind of make me go through life a little bit easier when I had to select something. For example, after I finished university, I had to select where I want to go to school. Australia wasn't really my first choice because it was to me then, when I was younger, it was everything, the shopping mall closed at 5. So I didn't like that. But the rest of it, I really like, I get to meet Australian friends. And when I meet people now, I can say, hey, I studied in Australia before. And I use that for bonding at this point of time when I'm much older. So I went to Australia, and then I went, after I finished, my mom she was a flight attendant. So that was one of I didn't know the word manifest before, but I always wanted to live like a flight attendant job like my mom. So I know there was one thing I wanted to do. So after I finished BBA Chula, right, I didn't even know which airline to go to. I wanted to go to Thai Airways. Simple, typical things, right? It doesn't open. It's closed for a long time. All of a sudden, Japan Airlines open. I don't speak any Japanese at all. And I was like, I'll just go and apply for it, right? And then I'd go interview, and it's like, I just tell I don't speak Japanese, but I don't know, I got in. So I did manifest, I guess, and took the action, and then I try, and then I act, and it happened. So I jumped into that unknown door again, and they taught me Japanese, and now Japanese is my third language, and I speak Japanese within like 2 months. Good training from them, but I now do speak Japanese. Even when I'm older, I still remember. So I got that from just going to the unknown door again. Then I was flying with Japan Airlines. I knew I had to do this master. And I did BBA, right? I'm an airline, so I was thinking, what do I do now? I need to go to management still. So I went into management in hospitality management. And I applied for like second tier school, because like I said, I'm always in my head, I'm a B+ student. And then so I applied to about 12 different schools, all B grade school, right? And my dad's friend was like, why don't you apply for Cornell? And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get into Cornell. Like my GMAT doesn't even hit what they asked for. And I take the GMAT for 3 times, I'm still like below what they asked. And I was like, well, it's only $100 more for the application. I already spent a lot. So I said, okay, I'll just have put everything in an envelope and then shipped it to Cornell Hotel School. And I got in. The first day I went to Cornell, I go knock at the admission door. I said, can I ask you, why did you accept me? And I said, my GMAT wasn't even there. And they said, oh, because that year there was no Thai students there and no airline experienced students. And we wanted to have diversity in class. So that's when I really realized I don't know, you don't know what's behind those doors. There are so many things that you don't know that they're looking for. If you kind of stop yourself, limit yourself, and think you can't go that far, you won't get into all these great things in your life. So from then, I was kind of like, okay, I'll just throw myself into anything. If I can survive, then I'll be a better person at least. If I don't, I'll just be the same. So nothing to lose. So that's how I did my explorer life. So basically, am I a designer? I think my design would be like I don't have this in my slides because I just think of it now. You know how the art is when you have an art, when people just draw impression and kind of like don't have the idea what it is and go with the flow and it becomes pretty. I think that's kind of designer that I am with my life. I just take what it comes and then paint that into my life and make sure that it looks pretty and I don't get myself into ugly picture. But as a designer and explorer, you will need to have a tiny compass. Still, I do have my little compass. I do all this random thing, but I still have, not a GPS. GPS kind of make you go where they want you to go, right? Compass, you just have to look at it and realize what it is. So I do have my compass. My compass is actually, I think of it last night, is actually curiosity. I'm always curious. What's behind that door? From that career time, what's behind it? I want to go peek in, I go look, so I jumped in always. So curiosity, I want to grow because I think I'm a B+. I always wanted to improve myself. I want to grow. One day, I want to be an A. It might not happen anymore because I'm not a student anymore. But still, I think I grow. And also, very important, I want to be happy. Anything I do, I want to make sure that I'm very happy. So that is my compass. And that's what I look at when I get lost sometimes. Sometimes you will get lost. But when you have that compass, it's actually your value. If you know what is in your heart is important to you, use that to guide your life and design throughout the way. I never know what I wanted to do. I never know what life will take me. I just go with opportunity that comes and then be curious at it. And grow along with it, be scared, but jumped into it, and happily, stay with it. So I'm gonna jump everything because what everything takes me to today is, like your friend said, director of the institution of education that teach tech, design, and entrepreneurship. Nothing relate to me. Nothing related to my degree. But if you come to the campus, people start to say, why doesn't feel like school? And I said, I use a lot of services and hospitality that I learned into managing this campus, and it feels more like hotel, restaurants, like a homey place like that. So that's what I do now. I oversee a university that UTCC, University of Thai Chamber of Commerce, collabs with a university from Spain. They teach technology, they teach entrepreneurship, and they teach design. And it's very new. I had to break a lot of rules to make it happen, but luckily the Ministry of Higher Education, they let me kind of test it out. So that's a weird door for me again, to go and break rules of traditional university in Thailand and tell the ministry which rule doesn't work to make education better in Thailand. So that's how I operate this university at UTCC. And I guess what I want to leave for you before I go is that for you, I give you 3 things from my story is you need to notice what excites you, what makes you like time pass, like figure skating, time pass, but you kind of try hard to mix it with your study life. So one thing, always notice yourself, what makes you happy, what excites you, what makes your time lost and you didn't realize it. And say yes to opportunities. When it comes, just peek your heads in it and see what it looks like. Put your foot in it. It might get dirty, but it will make you stronger. And reflect and adjust. When you're older, all these things, all your compass will not be the same as when you're 15 or 18. When you're 25, you're 30, your compass, where you want to go will be different. So don't stick to what you are today. Design it throughout your whole life of what's going to be your happiness. So let's see. I think everybody is a life designer, and you should all have fun designing your own life. โอเคค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ